Hello. Just going to be looking at an old Vestel, I think, tonight. I just want to address a couple of comments, as always. Look what I found, by the way. Oh, I say found. It's something I've had for ages. But it's probably one of the best multimeters I've ever had. And I never use it, so I've brought it into the workshop. I did some filming today for something I want to put out on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day if I can. I say if I can because there's been a bit of a technical problem. So a few things I just want to address in the comments. Always love the comments, and I do try and read all of them. Has got to a stage now when I'm getting comments on videos that I made 3 months ago. So it's a bit difficult to talk about that because things can change in 3 months. But anyway, somebody said quite rightly yesterday, I'll take your word for it that you fixed the Samsung TV. I didn't see it. You would have seen it briefly coming on. Now, normally I do what I used to call the snooker test. But I couldn't do that yesterday. And the reason I couldn't do that yesterday is quite simply because just here, and she shouldn't be up against it, there's a screen behind there. There's a 50-inch LG screen. I'm waiting for some backlights to arrive. I thought I'd got some in stock, so I started dismantling and I'd got the wrong ones. Hey, that's never happened before. So I couldn't lift the TV up into its usual position to show, but hopefully you did see it. That's one excuse, and these are just poor excuses. You should always be able to see the finished product when it's been repaired. I don't know if anybody else says, can somebody tell me in the comments if this is a thing? I've never come across it before. So obviously I edit using Windows 11, sometimes Windows 10, depending on which machine I'm using. Which one have I got here? This is Windows 11. And it may be connected to the storms, but so much stuff has disappeared off my C drive. And I just noticed when I came in yesterday to start editing that a lot of my settings had changed. I have a template for the way the show opens and the way the show ends. I don't know why I'm calling it a show, but anyway, bear with me. The way it ends and the way it starts. And that had gone. All of a sudden the file said it's just not there anymore. So either I've come in my sleep and deleted 50 gigabytes worth of information, or can a storm, can a power cut do strange things? Can 50 gigabytes of stuff on C drive just disappear? Because it looks like that's what's happened without me going in to investigate it fully. It's just gone. Which is possibly why you're seeing a different intro. In fact, I think yesterday I didn't do any intros or any ends. I was that up, pressed for time that I just put the video out. Don't like doing that. I like things to be a little bit neater and tidier. And I've probably, hopefully, managed to find time tonight to put a different beginning and end on. And so yes, so I've done some recording today for something I want to put out Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I don't know if it's going to ever make it because some of the stuff's now gone missing. But one of the jobs, this is when I say fieldwork is just an explanation of going out in the car or the van and doing repairs in people's homes. It's called fieldwork. And I was doing I'll call it a satellite job, but it was one of Britain's biggest satellite places, if not biggest in the world, I'm not too sure, and it's based in Cornwall. So I went down there today and I took some camera. I wasn't allowed to film what I was repairing because you're not allowed to record on site, but I just did something a little bit different which I'm hoping to put out for Christmas Eve, and I suddenly realised, why do I have this nice multimeter in the field tools when really it should be here? I've got two flukes here, but they're both showing their age a little bit. But anyway, so I brought this one up. And just to answer other questions, and this is primarily from people that have joined recently, saying, do you ever repair power supplies? Are you just replacing power supplies? And somebody said, are you always doing backlight jobs? Can we see something different? I'm afraid it's not a request show. It just isn't. This is me filming what I repair to make money for my little business. This is what pays the rent. And so it's what comes in at what particular order. There could be 7 backlight jobs on the trot, If it's boring, just don't watch them. But every backlight job is kind of different for a reason. If you see a power supply and you're disappointed that I've replaced it rather than repaired it, I mean, there are several power supply videos I've put out there. It depends on the job in question. Again, this is a business. There's a time restraint against everything. If I repair a power supply, it's because it's cost effective. And I know that it's going to last. Remember, because it's a business, I do put a warranty on my work. If a power supply has gone bang so much, and I've seen other YouTubers do this, and where the circuit board has charcoaled and taken layers away, and they've managed to get it going. But some of these guys don't put a warranty on their work, or sometimes they do 3 months, and that's only because they have to by law if you're in business. I always put a year. So I have to look at it from a business point of view. I don't want to be paid 50 quid, 100 quid, 200 quid, whatever the bill's going to be, to repair a TV where the guy's going to be bringing it back in 3 weeks, 3 months or 6 months. I don't want that. I want to charge a fair price for a fair job. And in the back of my mind sometimes, if I think, I could replace that diode, and I can change that capacitor, but other capacitors are just as old on the board and they're going to go, I might as well source a new board completely. And sometimes sourcing a new board, especially Vestel and Samsung parts, it's cheaper than finding the individual components. So it's not that I don't believe in component level repair. It's a bit of mathematics, really, and it's about getting the job done as quickly as possible, as cheaply as possible, so I can move on to the next job to do as quickly. So that's the way that it works. This is just my business, and I film what's on the table and stand by, because it's going to be a boring Vestel backlight job, I think, coming up in a second. So I can't change that. I'm awfully sorry. I know a lot of YouTubers pick and choose their jobs. They buy their repairs by buying faulty stuff on eBay, or people send it to them and they repair it and do it that way. That's great, that's okay, but this is a business that people bring to me things to repair. Sometimes it's my own stuff, but 90% it's customer stuff that wants looking at, so I have to do it that way. So I hope that explains. I really do. In the meantime, I'd better go and fetch this TV I'm working on.